Welcome to your United Latinas session. I'm Esther Aguilera. I'm very, very pleased to meet you and welcome you to this important session. So first, I want to thank Ileana and Sandra for this powerful session and bringing us all together. So as I reflected on Hispanic Heritage Month, I was asked to talk about what a wealth journey meant to me. And we defined wealth, not just from a financial perspective, but about creating a legacy. And so I decided to define wealth as leaving a legacy by making massive contributions that will benefit generations to come. And, my wealth journey started after college. I had an incredible opportunity to move to Washington, D.C. from my very humble roots in San Fernando, California. I made the leap and I was terrified. My family, we were undocumented. We moved to this country. I'm the daughter of a landscape laborer and garment worker. So growing up, we, were not exposed to role models who knew about the nation's capital and politics. And so, as a result of this move, I have been privileged to work in leadership roles from my mid-20s and work with our nation's most powerful leaders, from members of Congress, cabinet members, corporate directors, CEOs of nonprofits, and the private sector. So, my wealth journey has been unique because over the last 32 years, I have shifted lanes and worked in very different sectors, and every time looking at how I can, make an impact. So along the way, and this is one of my themes for today, I learned to embrace uncomfortable places, and I tell my mentees, be open to new challenges, because that is how you grow. Put yourself out there, build a network of allies. And so my first role on Capitol Hill was executive director of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. And I had a dear friend, mentor, former Congressman Bill Richardson. He was also governor of New Mexico, and he's a dear friend and recently passed away. So I wanted to mention him because, I started as a legislative director, and when the position of executive director opened up, remember, I was in my mid-20s. At that time, I was in the Washington, D.C. area for 3 years. And, he came to me and he said, well, the position is open. Do you want to be executive director? And I thought about it, and I had so much doubt in myself. I was thinking, oh my God, this is so much work already. I don't know if I want to take it on because there's just so much going on in our country and our community. But you know what? I said yes. I said, I'm going to do it. And he, at the middle of a meeting of all these, about a dozen members of Congress, he said, you know what? I think Esther should be the next executive director. And everyone looked at him because he obviously brings a lot of clout, and everybody said, okay, that's how it happened. But it really took, just really thinking outside of not only what I had done, but where I can go. And so along the way, for example, I was CEO of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus Institute as well. And there I tripled the size of our internship and fellowship programs. But what that really meant was, look, I have empowered and changed the life trajectories of thousands of young Latino leaders. Today, they're making an incredible impact in the world. And in the last 7 years, I have led and grown the expansion of the Latino Corporate Directors Association. And we changed the narrative. We changed the narrative because there's ample Latinos. We deserve to be in that boardroom, a seat at the table, opening up seats for others as well. And today that organization is both aspirational and inspirational, both for current executives and future generations. So, we as Latinas, we are a force. We are entrepreneurs, leaders. We're making all of those great impacts. But, the big concern is that we are still, 1% of corporate boards, 1% in the C-suite. But here's the opportunity. There was a McKinsey study that showed that actually Latinas and women of color, 47% want to advance to an executive role. And that compares to 27% of white women. So we are more ambitious. We really want to get ahead. And we're simply saying, give us the opportunity to compete. Because when Latinas are given this opportunity, we deliver. And we deliver in spades. So I'm a prime example, such humble roots, and yet, we can't let sometimes our own self-doubt hold us back. So I've had good advisors who helped open some of those first opportunities and opportunities along the way, and encouraged me to take a leap of faith. Success comes in unexpected ways. So I have shifted lanes to 4 very different sectors. So my career path has not been very typical. I moved from policy to legislative to running nonprofits in the education space, in corporate governance. Today, I'm a senior advisor with Altura Capital, working with private equities, helping to grow our wealth as a community as well. So that has been very exciting. So that's why I continue to tell my mentees, take on challenges. Again, that's how you learn and grow. Broaden your horizons, ask for stretch assignments. The other important thing to keep in mind is, don't leap into the next role because you know 100% of the job. That's just a lateral move. So instead, leverage your current experience plus your capability, to take on roles where you might know 50% of the job, but you have those capabilities to then continue to grow and learn and build your capability into the next role. So in that next role, we all have blind spots. So, and you're continuing to grow and develop. Ask for development opportunities, and then also ask for what you need. Say, I'm going to be stepping into this next role. I know that I bring some strengths, but can I get a mentor? Can I get help with public speaking? It's okay to come in and ask for what your needs are to continue in that journey, and you're contributing along the way. So, remember, you don't have to have 100% of what the job requires. What is more important is, whether it's in the nonprofit sector or the private sector, your employers want to promote you because you have capacity, capability, and compatibility. And as Latinas, we are resilient. We are very compatible, and we're team players. So I call that the 3 C's. So believe in your 3 C's. Your 3 C's, again, capacity, capability, and compatibility. Surround yourself with friends and leaders that are in your corner. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable. We all have, vulnerabilities, and we oftentimes want to just show the strength. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Call on your friends when you have doubts and when you need to talk to someone. In my journey, I did that every step of the way. after I had these amazing opportunities and had the opportunity to lead a large nonprofit, I said to myself, well, I don't have experience leading a large nonprofit, but I had, experience running a large department at the Department of Energy, where I was doing contract and procurement, an area I didn't know and learned very quickly. And I also learned that I had a lot of that strategic approach, that, kind of growth mind was what really helped me hone in and say, yes, I can take on this new role as CEO of a large nonprofit. So, Latinas, our strengths continue to really enlighten our paths, and so do our network and friends. And that is why I'm so proud that we're getting together today for some really phenomenal sessions. And again, really want to thank Ileana and Sandra, because it is sessions like this where we can learn from each other, we can be vulnerable, we can have honest conversations, we can be authentic. Today, authentic is sometimes used, too often, but it really just means being ourselves, and especially being able to be vulnerable with friends and asking for help and taking those leaps of faith, taking on those challenges. Look, if someone like me can accomplish this, I'm just so impressed with our young Latinas in mid-career. Our Latinas today are even more accomplished and prepared than I ever was at their age. I am so inspired by what's to come, what is all of what you have before you. This Hispanic Heritage Month is about the power of you, the power of Latinas, the power of community, the power to advance each other, because that's how other communities do it. That's how we can continue to advance, is when we're supporting one another. So count on me to be in your corner and lean on this network that is a gift that we're having today to do the same, because our community, our families, our country needs us. Latinas are a force. And again, we're saying, give us the opportunity to compete and let me show you what I've got. I'd like to continue to be there for others, as well as lift up others. So in addition to that, to my wealth journey, think about what your wealth journey is. Along the way, I have built a passion in my personal and professional pursuits to elevate Latinos to positions of power. Because until we are in those positions, in the corporate boardrooms, in the C-suites, in running nonprofits and leading in so many different spaces, we need those voices, we need those positions, we need Latinas leading in those spaces, because that's how we bring others along. We have so much to offer, and this day is going to be phenomenal with all of our speakers. I'm going to hand it back to our dear friends, Sandra and Ileana, and want to take again this opportunity to thank you. Think about what your wealth journey is. Think about how you can call a friend when you need some guidance, when you need advice, when you need someone in your corner.
Thank you so much, Esther. We'll do a formal thank you after our next keynote, but thank you so much for those inspiring words to kick us off.